Finding locations.
While early navigators used landmarks like islands or rocky shores and the position of the moon and the stars to find their way, today, navigators also rely on the tools provided on maps and globes. If you were to take a trip around the world, a map or a globe could help you find your way. Chantel's grandfather cruised around the world last summer. She charted his trip on this globe and kept track of the locations on her journal. His port of departure is New Orleans, Louisiana. For the exact location on the globe, Chantel will look at the lines running across the globe, the latitude. New Orleans is at 30 degrees north latitude. For longitude, she looks at the lines running up and down on the globe. New Orleans is at 90 degrees west longitude. Grandfather traveled through the Panama Canal, south, and across the equator to their first stop, the Galapagos Islands, near 0 degrees latitude and 90 degrees west longitude. Now, how far do you think that trip was? If you look at the scale on the globe Chantel is using, it shows that this 1-inch line is equal to 660 miles. The route Grandfather took was equal to about 4.25 inches. So, the trip from New Orleans to the Galapagos Islands is about 2,805 miles. The next part of the adventure was an adventure in time. Grandfather crossed over the international dateline. On the way to Fiji, he started breakfast on Sunday. But because he crossed the international dateline, he says that he finished his meal on Monday.
That was a long breakfast.
Fiji is about 17 degrees south latitude and almost 180 degrees longitude. In a postcard from Fiji, Grandfather challenged Chantel to find his next destination. His cruise ship will head west past Australia and then north for about 8,580 miles, near 18 degrees north latitude and 73 degrees east longitude. Where did he go?
That's easy. Bombay, India.
From Bombay, Grandfather will travel across the Red Sea, through the Suez Canal, and into the Mediterranean Sea. Their next stop is Alexandria, Egypt, at about 30 degrees north latitude and 30 degrees east longitude. After Alexandria, Grandfather traveled west over the prime meridian to about 40 degrees north latitude and 10 degrees west longitude. Now he's in Lisbon, Portugal. From Lisbon, Grandfather cruised back to New Orleans, traveling southwest across the Atlantic Ocean. How far was this last part of his trip? If you measure the distance between Lisbon and New Orleans, it is almost 9 inches long. Since each inch equals 660 miles, the trip back to New Orleans will be over 5,940 miles. The world cruise took Grandfather across the equator, across the international dateline, and across the prime meridian. He also visited 5 of the 7 continents, starting with North America, South America, Asia, Africa, and Europe. But Chantel didn't have to take the trip to know where Grandfather was going. After studying his trip, she could imagine the globe in her head. She wrote down all of his stops, their latitudes and longitudes, and how far they were from each other. Then, she can create a map in her mind using the information she knows about his trip and travel the route that Grandfather took.